Burn live, burn live, burn live. Welcome to another show. Now, I understand that normally I probably should have had an intro, a nice welcome the audience to the show. Hey, welcome to the Burn Live Show. Today we're discussing black and white and gray issues and things that happen. That sounds good. That sounds very entertaining, energetic, motivated, pushing towards a good show of teaching. But this show right here today, we're going to go over those issues. We're going to talk about those issues. But before we address those issues, I just want to address Bookface, and for those people who, because I'm live actually on my personal page today, kicking this off because we live back on Bookface, YouTube, X. You know how we normally do it, but I'm on my personal page, and I say that because how you doing, Larry? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you stopping through. For one, I say that because I've been having a lot of backlashes and a lot of people all on my pages hitting me up in this politic world of having information. Oh, they know what they're talking about and they got something to say. And I understand it and I respect that. You know, it is what it is. That's why I didn't comment back on a lot of people's posts. But this is my comeback on a post. And I will be personally tagging a lot of you people out there in this, because I know y'all not watching now and you're probably not going to watch this, but I'm making sure I'm putting this out there in the beginning, the first 3 minutes of the show. I'm letting you know I am coming after you personally. Your name will be tagged in so many posts. Come on to the show. Let's have a sit down. Let's have a dialogue. Let's have a conversation and see if your views match my views. And see if you got the guts to want to Twitter finger all on Bookface and see if you can really come up here and speak how you want to be spoken to. Oh yeah, you see the planes flying over. They know. How you doing?
Hello, who is it?
This is a good friend from Canada. She's a very good friend. Hey, when I say dog, if you would have met me during the pandemic, bro, I had Burn Live art. I had a Burn Live weed section. I had a Burn Live political section. I had a Burn Live sports. And like I was trying to build a community of a lot of us to do
Yeah.
what they wanted to do. And this nice young lady was good in arts and crafts, and I built her page through the Burn Live, and she wanted to do it, and she took the time out to do it. And I had a lot of interference and a lot of he say and a lot of this and a lot of that. And I tell people, and I tell people today, and you have heard me say, I go off of facts. If I can prove something, I'll do it. If I can't prove it, then it is what it is. I'm doing
Right.
very good. I'm doing very good. So
Good.
I would try to bring that back now. Is just that formula back then is not now. It was just like everybody would have to come onto the page, do what they want to do, you know what I'm saying, onto your own section. Everybody would have access to the StreamYard, and do what you want to do for as that. I
Right.
don't know. I, Nowadays I had to work out contracts and stuff like that because now it's not how it was. But today, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, that is watching, and I didn't get to really share this out to everybody. Today, we're gonna be watching a video of a guy who took the time out to go inside a barbershop and have a hard discussion with people who you normally wouldn't see people have the hard discussion. I ain't talking about the Larry Birds and the Michael Jock and the was it LeBron James. I ain't talking about the Cowboys and the Washington Redskins to see who go to the Super Bowl. I'm not talking those conversations. If y'all know me, y'all watch my channel, y'all know I talk about political things that matter, things that I think that to the hardcore. I try to bring things in a fashion to where you can be able to express yourself and not feel discouraged, not feel like somebody's holding a needle or a thread over your head and like, hey, you gotta answer it this way, you gotta be like this. Hey, I'm sorry. I just seen a new camera idea shot. I'm like, ooh, that'd be a nice camera shot. I need to try that.
Oh, your way.
But we gonna get into the show. Um, oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is Larry, y'all. Sorry, Larry. How you doing? If you'd like to tell the people where you're from, how they can find you, a little bit about yourself.
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised. I be on TikTok, born and raised in Missouri. Be on TikTok doing a cookie live sometimes, come through, holler at me. We gonna joke around, talk stuff, picture up there up top, that's our community right there. Live, you know. I be on there sometimes just joking around, having fun. Met him through TikTok, Now we on here trying to see what it do.
I
Trying to help my
appreciate that.
boy.
Appreciate that. Okay, so this is the video. We're not gonna go over all of it. I got it in the middle. I haven't even seen this. So this is actually a live reaction to the second part of the
No.
show. I did see the first part of this. I thought it was amazing for the simple fact of having the hard discussions in a barbershop, you know what I'm saying? And the backlash and the uproar and a downpour of what happened. So this is the second time they did this. This is a second go around, except this time, it's more of a conversation. We're going to get into this.
slaves. Should they pay reparations?
No, not that the company had slaves, but we had companies that insured slaves. You had companies that transported slaves.
But what if it's a company that did none of it? Should they pay?
No, if they didn't have anything to do with chattel slavery, no, they
Right.
should.
Neither did I.
Companies that should. But
let me say this.
But your
I mean,
grandfather,
but you understand the point?
But if your grandfather was here in the United States, I don't know. You said you from Canada. I don't know. We not worried about it. We worry about the people.
What if your
that were here.
grandfather was a slave owner and mine wasn't?
My grandfather was.
What if he was? But
Hold on,
what if he
hold on.
was? Because
My grandfather was a sharecropper in Plaquemine, Louisiana, in a little
Right.
small town called Bayagula. So
Yeah.
he was 2 generations removed from slavery. So I know I have a root in slavery.
Okay.
Somebody
So what if
owned
I have
my
no root in slavery?
great-great-grandfather.
What if I have no root in slavery?
Well, you don't owe nothing. You don't owe anything. Your grandfather, if your grandfather from Canada, he wasn't down here owning slaves.
Okay,
he
I'm
don't
just trying
owe
to.
nothing.
So
If
then
your
people who didn't
grandfather was
owe,
down here telling
we
niggas
don't
what
pay
to do,
reparations.
he owe money.
But Steve,
Your
let me say-
family
Here's
owe
what
money.
here's what I'm telling you, though. Hold on a second. Here's what I'm telling you. If you're to go through the numbers, sir, do we agree? If I have no connection to slavery whatsoever, that I don't owe.
You, Steve,
Me.
You don't.
We
You
agree.
don't.
Okay.
You
So
don't.
do you realize that you could take all the white people in this country, and if you're going to add up everyone where you could actually trace the lineage to slave owners or had any involvement, you would end up with maybe 2 or 3%. 2 or 3% of white people in this country.
There go them numbers.
You
There
could
go
guess
them
their
numbers.
entire
You
salary,
throw out,
it
there
wouldn't
go
give you
them numbers.
reparations.
There go them
Most of us have
numbers.
nothing.
Somebody did it. Somebody did.
Yeah,
And somebody
Africans
owed.
sold them into slavery.
Somebody owed.
It's still going on right now.
Somebody owed.
There are more slaves on earth right now than ever. Did you know that?
Steve, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. We're not gonna really get to the heart of it. Let me ask you this: are you aware of what's going on with McDonald's right now?
McDonald's, the company?
Yeah, McDonald's the company.
I'm aware they can't get my fillet of fish right anytime I f***ing go.
Let me tell you what's really happening. I got a friend of mine who currently has 5 McDonald's locations, right? So there are many times he says, Cedric, sometimes I've got to get up at nighttime to go and check, even if the chiller goes out, right? So I said, man, why is that so? What's really happening? He said, Cedric, what happens is there are most black franchisees, right, that own these McDonald's. He said, we have to get them in the most low performing areas, right? Never mind the fact that we make the same investment up front to purchase one of those McDonald's, right? So when you talk about that, let's look at the systemic and institutional biases that are involved just in that. The McDonald's, same thing as my white counterpart, but yet I'm relegated to take a McDonald's in an area that's probably highly impoverished. I've got to keep coming up with all kinds of gimmicks to keep the foot traffic coming through the stores. Where nobody talks about that.
Well, what
So
about
as
the
you
flip
can see-
side of it?
What happens on the flip side?
What about the flip side of it? What about the fact that you have the government that has grants that invest in?
Let me ask you this, Steve. It's funny you.
Does that even it out?
No. But
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the gray area, the parts where you see a side that you know that happened. I'm gonna sit on here and I'm not finna sugarcoat nothing. Slavery happened. I think I have to say this every blue moon because people listen to me talk and they really think that I believe that slavery didn't happen. So I always have to explain myself. I believe slavery happened. I understand it. That was a part of life. Okay, I'm not gonna fake the phone. But what we're trying to explore and what our ancestors asked for was a time where we didn't have to worry about slavery. We didn't have to worry about one side worrying about another. Now, today's society, 2025, you got people that asking us that has nothing to do with slavery to pay us some money. I don't think that real concept is actually gravitating in people's head. Y'all, we didn't have nothing to do with slavery. How y'all gonna keep asking us for money?
That don't make no sense to that.
That don't make no sense. And that's what he tried to say. Like, okay, cool. You may not, but then you see how what he did so fast with your grandfather. Dad, how do you know my grandfather? You so quick to want to point. But then when you look at when somebody does the numbers and put down some statistics out there, the numbers, so you can actually go off of something so you can educate yourself. It doesn't favor you. then them numbers is bunking wrong. That amazes me that people look at society like that. And you see how you're like, okay, cool. He said $1 million. Now, if you look at the highest, who bought some of the most properties up, is a black man, an ex NFL football player. I think that's the last time I looked. I checked. Don't quote me. Look, don't quote me on it. Don't fact check me on it, but go look it up yourself. Your own research. I do believe an NFL football person retired in his 30s and started buying up a bunch of McDonald's franchises, and he owns the most McDonald's in America.
Damn.
But you're trying to tell me, but hold on. But this is the argument that he's saying. Well, when I buy my McDonald's, I gotta buy it and I have to put it in a bad neighborhood and a bad franchise.
You don't have to.
My argument to him is, where is your people at in those bad neighborhoods and franchises? So why wouldn't you want to put a McDonald's in there so you can help build them up businesses and jobs to get them out of?
Get them off the street.
Right. Oh man, I gotta start I bought into McDonald's. I gotta put it in this neighborhood so I can thrive. Instead of put it in a bad neighborhood to clean up a neighborhood. But we always talking about to clean up the neighborhood, and you want somebody. You see what I'm saying? But yet again, I'm not for the. They'll tell me I'm not for the people. How am I not for the people if I want to put my franchise? I want to put my franchise in the black.
Okay. Bad neighborhood, you need to put it in a bad neighborhood, get them to start making money so they can do something for themselves instead of being out here doing crazy stuff.
Better me than the government, right?
You rather be in somewhere working than being behind bars.
I'd rather for a bunch of, you know what? I'll say it like this. I'd rather for a bunch of no good, bad, up to no good, badass hooligans that's trying to change their lives to get around, to put businesses in the hood, than the government say, I'm going to subsidize and put stuff in your neighborhood to help your community grow.
I do the same thing. If I had enough, my shit would be all around St. Louis, all up in the bad neighborhood and all. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but all the ghetto people would be working up in my shit. Because guess what? They gonna want to make some money too. Probably got a little side on the side or whatever, but get in here and make this money.
Bro, how in the hell do we protect the Arab community? But you trying to tell me we can't protect our own businesses?
That's why I'm like, I don't get that either.
Boy, there's an Arab store right around the corner, dog. They don't get ran up in.
I bet you they don't, because they doing so much up in there that they having people doing, hey, look, we'll do this for you if you do that. Make sure we don't get run up in here on. Hey, it's just like I said, some black people got money, but they don't put their money in the right places all the time. You make money, you need to go ahead and build the shit and do shit what you're supposed to do with it. Yep. Get these young people out the street, as they call them, the YN. Get them off the street. Get them to do something with themselves. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, they too bad. They this, that, another. You're not trying to help.
Trying to get home shops back. All right, let's get back into this. Let's see where this leads to.
because that exists.
Here's something you keep saying. You say that these grants exist for black people, but let me ask you.
Okay, but my
How much
point
does
is
it actually
both sides of that coin, right?
Yeah,
That
okay.
exists for a
So we'll
reason.
go there.
Why? What's the reason?
The reason is based on what he's saying. That's why it's an
Right, that's
appropriate.
what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you use his example of the McDonald's,
Okay.
what would be the reason for relegating the black owners to the low
First
income
off, I
neighborhoods?
don't know. I'm not able to verify that all that's factual.
But that's-
I know. Were you
I'm just
told you
saying.
could only open here in nice?
Huh?
Were you told you could only open here in a nice?
Well, this is Steve's shop, but no.
Okay. Okay. My point is,
But see, you have
it's
to
not just
understand
McDonald's.
something. Before
My
you
point
answer
on the
that
flip
question, you
side,
have to
though,
understand something. There's a difference in McDonald's or what have you.
Yeah,
Because the way that
McDonald's
the way
has a
that
whole
hierarchical
different
structure
I
runs,
get it.
they will designate you certain areas of what have you that you will be awarded a location in. You just don't have the right to say, okay, I'm paying $1 million.
That's the
I
same
want
for
to start
everyone.
Plano. Huh?
That's the same for everyone. I know a guy. Well, he just died not too long ago. He had a bunch of which I don't know how they're still around. It's disgusting. But
Neither do I.
He had. It's awful. I have never had a good meal at. But he had to be in certain too because they had to displace his franchise investment, right? That's part of it, where he was like, this one place is killing me, but as long as I get this spot, when I average out the 4 spots, okay, I can turn a profit. So this isn't unique to the black community. What is unique is investments from the federal government and state government into black-owned businesses to rectify it that people don't get. So it's not enough. So what would be enough?
Because of historical injustices that have been done to impede black businesses. So
it's not enough now,
Why
but what would
you
be
have to
enough?
ask yourself why would they do that? Why would they pay that?
What's the number?
Oh, because
That's what I'm
conditions
about to ask you. What's the
historically.
number, Steve?
That's my point. What's the number, right? Public Department of Education, Great Society, Model Cities Program, Black Businesses, Pell Grants, Affirmative Action, DEI. It's not enough. What's the number that's enough?
Once again, just like we said about the civil rights movement, about the education and all that, you can do certain things in the name of doing the right thing, but then you do it wrong. So
What's the number?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't personally have an answer
hold
to
on,
that
one
question.
moment, just one
But-
second. Would you agree that if a young person who has no connection to slavery whatsoever, you probably need a number for them? Otherwise, they're probably going to be pissed.
They didn't need a number for Ukraine.
Sure
They paid them same taxes. They didn't need a number for how much
You're
we were
talking
going to pay.
about reparations to a young person, right? In the name of sins of forefathers. My point is, what's the number? Because the number now is trillions of dollars. I get it.
Yes.
The government screws everything up, and I will agree on that. What's the number? You're sitting down right now with a 22-year-old white kid.
Give my
There you go.
daughter $15 million and we'll call it.
$15 million.
$15 million apiece. We'll call it.
like
We'll
you
call
said,
it square. That's for me. That's for me and for them.
$50 million. Okay.
Add
$15
an
million.
extra, look, since a lot of people don't care about their taxes, add an extra 2% to what you pay in taxes. How about that? 2%. That's a number.
2% for how long?
Let's see. How long it was?
So 2% only for white people who have a connection to slavery at their forefathers, right?
How long
Yeah.
were we in slavery?
You'd end up with no money.
200 and.
You'd end up with zero money. You'd each end up with about $14.99.
You keep letting our people off the
But
hook.
that's what I'm
though.
saying.
The government
I'm
bears-
talking about the government paying taxes. I'm not talking about
the
just
government
people
bears
who
some
are responsible.
taking this.
Once
They
again,
have to
I'm
pay.
not responsible for anything happening in Ukraine, but I'm paying for it.
I agree.
So why should that rationale not transfer to this?
Because it's rationale.
It's not when
It's
it's not when the United States is the people who perpetrate.
Well, that's why I need to ask the number.
That's the
Because if
point.
you're talking about more than $15 per black
If we're gonna
person,
be a part
you're
of
talking about trillions of dollars.
Right, but if we're going to be a part of the same
And
country,
2%
like
would
Lane
cover
said,
it.
we're going to all be a part and members
Yeah.
of the same country. Well, we have to take on what comes with that. What comes with that is historically, every time like Chris said earlier, every time black people have achieved in mass, it's been torn down.
No.
And then you get to a point
Unless you're
where
talking about the riots, yeah.
Then you get to a point where you're like, I can mention there's several black communities that's under lakes. There's one that's under Central Park in New York. Like there's plenty. But my point is, then you get to a point where you say, okay, we're gonna do this in the interest of justice. But then redlining and all that stuff happens, and then the prison industrial complex, all of that stuff that happens that adds to the wrong of it. It gets mixed
I
in
get
and
what
say,
you're
well,
saying.
yeah, we tried, and you should just be happy
Here's
with
the
it.
problem. What you just said was the rhetoric and the reasoning behind catch and release, doing away with the 3-strike policy. You point to New York. You got a black mayor and crime got worse.
Because he's a criminal.
And because you got 30 million people living in
But
a
white guy before him, he was grabbing.
Exactly.
You point at a guy who is black, and y'all call him a criminal. But you him in office. You voted him out. We were more. This is going to sound mean to say because I don't think people. Cause all right, I ain't gonna say it because using the word institutional just, I don't know, for some reason nowadays just means bad. So I'm not gonna say that. But back in the days, the I know for a fact because it's almost geographically shown. The 40s, 50s, all the way up to the 60s, the black community was in tune with what the government was going on.
Yeah, they was in tune with it, but it
It
was
was
just
in tune.
mm-hmm.
When televisions really started hitting mainstream, like it was in everybody's houses. It's not like everybody back in the day where everybody had to gather up at one person's house to watch a television show.
Everybody had TV then.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody had TV. You know what I'm saying? Because you remember on TikTok, we had that the small debate about when color was in.
Oh yeah.
Remember, because color TV was in the 60s or something,
Like
1964,
60, I was gonna say 64, 65, somewhere like that.
something like that. Yeah. So abruptly, you know what I'm saying, that, and then it was the tune out because we had TV shows. I believe I don't have no statistics to back this up. So let me hurry and say this because I'm stuttering. But I do believe if it wasn't for as many TV shows like HBO and the cables and all these shows like that, a lot of these people that got into these places, and I'm talking about the blacks that are corrupted, would have never got into those places back in the 60s, in the 40s, in the 30s. They wouldn't have. You wouldn't have been able to lie past a whole community of people.
So that's when they started letting you in. Oh, he got talent. We can make some money up in him. He know how to sing. Come on in. It's just like Otis and the Temptation and shit. That's my movie.
He was
Go ahead.
in turn.
And probably the white guy that put him in his spot.
Okay, so it's worse. In other words, it's worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the prison industrial complex. That's why that guy was out 14 times.
But I'm saying that's
George Floyd was
also
out
why
9 times. So
why you have
and
less
now it's a
fathers.
12
That's
times murder rate.
why you have less fathers in the home.
I'm gonna use this.
Redlining and the prison industrial complex is the two main caveats to less fathers in the home.
We've done the opposite of the
black
prison
communities.
industrial complex. Violent offenders are being released into society and committing crime in record numbers right
And
now.
nonviolent offenders are being held on petty charges.
No, they're not.
I've personally done the numbers on
How
it.
did that guy get out after 14 times? George Floyd 9 times. Do you realize 11 times arrested is the average murder rate?
And you got people in there for weed charges that's in there for.
It's not a thing. It's less than 0.5%
Personally,
of
no.
federal
And
penitentiaries.
that's the thing. When you tell somebody
And
that
that's wrong, by
personal
the way.
knowledge don't matter because the stats matter more, I
Correct.
personally know this. I know somebody right now that's in jail for small but I know somebody else that did some big and they out.
Small, keep defining small. So he had a joint on him.
Selling weed.
He's in prison right now because he had a joint.
But a small amount
One time he got caught selling. One time a small joint he was selling.
No,
let's talk about small things.
You see how that's what I'm talking about, Larry. And I don't mean to do it like that, but is I understand the people that know somebody personally that is affected from a story. I get it, but you see how quick he switched his story up fast. Okay, so yeah, you trying to tell me that he's locked in a penitentiary over a joint? Because that's what you said. No, it's not really a joint. Okay, that means they built a case on him to lock him up.
So if they built the case on him, then you got a case on you. You can't do nothing about that.
Right. People kill me when they talking about, I know so many people that's locked up for petty crimes over weed just because they were slinging a little weed. Okay, I get slinging a little weed, but yet again, when you have a certain amount that they go find at your house or they seize, it doesn't come petty no more. It becomes trafficking.
Yep. That's why I was like, boy, there's so many people that got locked up. I know for that petty shit. It's just like shit. I mean, you get caught, you get caught. That was like back in the days when the weed wasn't legal. So you get caught with that shit. Shit, I got caught and got locked up for a little sack and had to pay like $3.50 for the shit. I'm like, damn, that was just a little $5 sack, and I get locked up and got to pay $3.75 to get out. I say, boy, I say for that little bitty stuff like this. And it's, oh, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
$3.75. I say, boy.
Talked
If
about
you
it.
want
What
to
is it
frame it, that's
really?
what I'm saying. If you want to frame it
What
in
is
the
he-
one-time
it's not a
small
small-
joint,
do you know-
that's a
what
small
is he
man
in
argument.
for?
I'm saying,
What is he in for?
I don't know how much he had, but it was.
And one time?
It wasn't. Yeah, it was one time.
He got caught one time
No,
selling
I don't
weed.
know. It wasn't his first time. No,
Okay, so he got caught multiple times,
Yeah.
and he was selling weed.
but
illegally.
every time wasn't the same thing.
Do you know how many people die from laced weed?
I don't.
You know about the fentanyl problem in this country?
Yeah, I
right
do
now?
know about
You know
fentanyl.
that most people aren't trying to get fentanyl, right?
But I
Now, not weed itself never killed anybody.
I'm about to say fentanyl ain't our thing.
No,
so,
no, what I'm
yeah.
saying is, do you realize why trafficking drugs is a problem? You said a little thing.
What I say? What did I say? What did I just say it before he said, y'all, I have not watched this video, I promise you. But I said, when it comes to something petty, it's petty in the beginning. But once you get to trafficking drugs, then it becomes something bigger. And that's what mostly somebody's going to build a case on you is for trafficking drugs. So therefore it can stick on you. And you got to stop playing. And now, yes, now that so many people got petty charges for selling weed when we let you out, that they know how to sneak other drugs through weed and they don't care the consequences. Because they're not the ones that are getting caught. You taking the air. Because you didn't know that the weed that you bought, that you slung, was laced.
Now, this person got $50. That's why I don't buy weed off of people off the street. Go straight to the dispensary.
Can I tell you that if I had a white friend who was caught trafficking drugs, and I don't think weed should be outlawed, by the way, it's both, just to be clear. But if I had a white friend who was arrested the umpteenth time for selling a brick of weed, I would go, yeah, that makes sense. We would expect it.
Not for weed.
Of course.
Not for weed.
Selling weed, yeah. Selling a giant brick of weed multiple times, yes. Yes.
And
those are
Come on, bro. What's wrong with that analogous? If you get caught selling a pound of weed, if you get caught, I'm going to say this one more time, caught selling a pound of weed multiple times, I'm sorry, yes, you're going to have to go sit the fuck down.
You're going to have to sit down. They're going to make you sit down because they're going to keep on catching you with a brick. Then they let you out, catch you with another brick about 3-4 months later. Come on now. They're like, where the hell is you on? Like, you don't get that right now? Okay, well, you go to jail for 5-10 years, you're going to be sitting there looking crazy. He can give you 10 for that shit and then be like, okay, you got the 5, you done good, get your ass out.
Like, why is we not?
These people crazy. They don't get it.
Yo, I want to show you this other story. I want to show you this other story real quick. Hold on. You know what? I got to, dog, because this the picture alone is a classic, y'all. We're gonna come back to this, y'all. This is part 1 of me going over this. I will be discussing this multiple times. Trust me, if you like to come, hit me up to the show. I like to bring people up on the panel have an open discussion. I told people in the beginning, I am coming after some of y'all. So, just sit tight, get ready for some juicy people who has lots to say. But in other, like we say in our other word, in other news, I seen this.
Hello traders, and welcome back to the TradingView channel. In this video, we're introducing our new AI indicator, which we've developed.
Meet the journalists making history as the first out gay black anchors to co-host a cable news show. Jonathan Capehart and Eugene Daniels are about to take over MSNBC's The Weekend alongside Washington correspondent Jackie Alamany.
You are looking at someone who, when he came out to his mom in 1990, the first thing my mother told me was, don't tell anybody because it'll ruin your career. It is incredible that at this time when our communities are under attack by leadership, here we are as journalists using our skills and our expertise to shine a light on here's what's happening and here's what's being done in your name because these are elected officials.
We know that there are certain things that overwhelmingly impact queer people, people of color, Black people, women, whoever it is. And so we're able to immediately go there and think about who are the people being impacted by this. It is a time in which those voices need to be at the table, and being able to be a part of that is exactly what you want as a reporter.
NBC News has just announced that they have eliminated all of their employees who covered LGBTQ and people of color issues. This was announced yesterday.
What the fuck? What is wrong with these people? Bro.
Damn, that turned real fast. NBC News layoffs, 150 layoffs, getting.
We get 150 layoffs.
Hours ago, but they have laid off 150 employees and gutted the Black, Latino, Asian American, and LGBTQ plus diversity teams. And this is huge because NBC has been one of the media networks who have pushed for LGBTQ issues for a very long time. Now, NBC says that these topics that affect these communities will still be covered, but they will not have their own dedicated, specialized teams any longer. Now, you would feel like these issues would be big enough for NBC News to not make any cuts to, but apparently they needed to cut costs from their 2,000 employee newsroom, and they were trying to save money by eliminating these 150 positions. Now, this follows the same move that other news companies are doing by limiting their DEI initiatives as well, with other companies completely eliminating these sections altogether.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to talk about what appears to be yet again.
I'm just saying, after listening to that report, I just gonna calmly say that yes, I believe that news should be covered if there's a problem in your community. But having a special victims unit like this is Law and Order, I don't think you need to waste money like that. I think no. Because yet again, are y'all making a profit off of it? They're not making no money. And that's what everybody's going to bottom line is, am I making money off of what I'm trying to do?
Nope.
I'm sorry. That was way too more funnier than what I expected. But I'm only laughing that it's only the news group. I'm not laughing at the fact that people had to lose their job, because I feel like you guys didn't lose your job. I just feel like you just lost a department. And that's really what happened. If you know what I'm saying, if you want to call a spade, y'all didn't technically lose anything. Y'all just lost a department. Nobody want to sit up there and listen to only LGBTQ news. Hey, listen, I like sports, but I can't sit there and listen to sports all day.
Hell no. I get bored as fuck.
Like once ESPN go through their little rotation twice, that's about it. Wrap. I got all the breaking news that I'm gonna get for majority of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Shit. Everything done and said, I don't need bored after that news go off. Once it hit whatever 69 or whatever they go off, it be all kind of weird shit come on after the news. I'll be like, what the fuck is this? It's time to turn.
So this is Megan Kelly. She used to work on Fox. She's a podcaster too. Part of the right movement. When you probably heard of people saying that podcasting is the new wave of getting information out, really getting to conversate with people. It really is. I wish people really would take the time out to see that. The time,
Everybody be paying attention to other shit instead of trying to pay attention to what they need to.
I get it. We all got our own preference.
Mm-hmm.
But to know a candidate, I just think podcast, when it comes to candidates, people that you finna put into office and you trying to get to know them, they need to go on a podcast. They need to go sit down on your favorite podcast, whatever that is, whoever you watch. And you need 3 hours to sit there and conversate and get to know these people.
They background and all that shit. That's
Hey.
why these presidents too. They don't know all about their background and shit. They just think they good. They know what they're talking about, and bam, shit start fucking up. It's just like, well, we shouldn't go put that president in there. Don't make no sense.
One of the reasons that Trump won is because he went on 3 different styles of podcasts. He went on a Joe Rogan, the #1 podcaster at that time. I think he still is today. I'm not sure though. You know what I'm saying? Most likely he still is. And then he went on one of the youngest high rating podcasters in the community. You know what I'm saying? He went on Smart Podcasting that had a big following. You know what I'm saying? And that was a good move. A lot of people got to really listen to Trump. A lot of people got to put their own intakes on it. But back to this real quick. I just want to hear her intake with this layoffs and what she said, because I know this is probably going to be somewhat serious and then somewhat funny at the same time.
A bloodbath over on MSNBC and CNN. MSNBC, now the numbers are out on the latest Nielsen data reported by Adweek, now averaging between April and June, okay, so that's a quarter, 1 million in the prime time for its best shows. 1 million. All right, I mean, when I was at Fox, we were doing like 3 million and change on the Kelly File. And then on the big news nights, you could add a couple of extra million to that. Like 1 million? That's what I used to get on America's Newsroom with Hemmer in 2007 at 9 a.m. But now they're getting 1 million in the prime time. Prime time. Any show on the Fox News prime time that would, even today, especially because now, you know, it's inflated under Trump at Fox, that was getting 1 million in the prime time, you get fired. The anchor would get fired. Okay, and in the key demo of 25 to 54, MSNBC is averaging under 100,000. 91,000. That's what their prime time, the biggest ratings getters on the network, are averaging on MSNBC, a fall from year over year.
That's what we was talking about, Larry, when we was talking about the Jimmy Kimmel effect. And why they taking them down, because the dipping in the ratings and the numbers. Back in the day, y'all pulling 3 million. Now y'all pulling under a million. 900,000 viewers.
Yeah, because shit, they ain't doing that because everybody thinking about this shit now.
And then, but there's a lot of YouTubers that's getting way more viewers than that. Takashi, whatever his name is, that dude pulled 1 million views every upload. And that's just the upload. That's not even including the shorts that he probably upload. And they reach 1 million.
Hey, he be having hell of people on his shit. Well, what's wrong? You see her, like, dude, I ain't never seen that all the way back like that.
What?
Her throat is all the way like somebody.
Right here?
Yeah, you ain't pay attention to her throat.
Man, shut up.
Bruh, I was sitting right here. That's why I went up to the phone. I'm like, dude, like somebody punched in her damn throat. Her element was up. Like, dude.
She got that deep voice. She a talker.
Wow. You need to cover that up.
Of 15% in the overall and 20% in the demo, which is kind of interesting. I would have thought it would have been a bigger fall given that this time last year was the lead up to the election. All right, I'm not done. Even worse is in the day on MSNBC. Total viewership plummeting 26%, an average during the day of 596,000, so under 600,000 viewers on your average MSNBC daily show, and 57,000 in the key demo. Under 50,000 is slashies. They don't even give you the number. You don't know what you got under 50,000. You just know you got slashies, which means you are a loser. That's really what that means. Double L for loser. So they're getting 600,000 in the daytime and 57,000 in the demo. That's a nightmare. Let me do CNN. They're in last place. They're lower than MSNBC. How can you go lower? So I'm ripping on MSNBC for having 1 million averaging in the prime time. Guess what CNN's average is in the prime time? 538,000 in the overall. In the total viewers, under 540,000 people. This is CNN. It's the face of the airport TV. It's everybody knows CNN. No one wants to buy the product. In the demo, 105,000 in the prime time. They're averaging 105,000. So on MSNBC, it's 91,000. So CNN's a little over MS in the demo, but last in the overall. That's humiliating.
With our cutting edge.
Bro, we can pull better numbers than that. We can. We can pull better numbers than that. I can do better than that.
Oh shit. Hey, let me I need to call my mama back right quick. She just told me to call her back.
All right.
I'll be right back.
They hate when you elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate. Yeah. They hate when you elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down. No, got a soul view to myself. Yeah, why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. It's my vocation. Now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Water on bed like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I ain't make it this far for myself. I had to prove to everybody else. I had to set them straight. I had to boss. I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. You stacking up losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate.
They hate when I elevate, elevate, elevate. Man. Woo. Y'all, we're going over these videos. We're going over NBS, NBC, CBS numbers. Hold on. In other news that has also been going on is the I sure want to hear about this body cam. I got another one for us, y'all.
Police officer. It happened this morning near 47th and Mill.
News Chopper 12 shows the aftermath of a violent Thursday morning near 48th and Mill Road. The police chief says an off-duty officer got into a minor crash with another driver. The two pulled over, and that's when Chief Jeffrey Norman says the driver pistol whipped that off-duty officer and both exchanged gunfire.
A few moments later.
I did not pistol whip nobody. It all happened so fast. Whatever injuries that they have, it did not come from Elijah. They were already so many feet away from each other.
It sounds like another situation of, from what I've been hearing, of black men being killed, being shot too many times. I heard that his hands was up.
Oh, this is like a shock. You know, I'm just still in shock, disbelief.
Tensions are high after a morning filled with grief and confusion.
I want to know, why did you kill him?
A few moments later.
Let's go to the videotape.
Elisha's mother, Pamela Bond Slater, and their attorney, DeIvory Lamar, watched the video twice Friday at MPD headquarters.
The family of a man shot and killed by an off-duty Milwaukee police officer is speaking out in a way you may not expect.
We will acknowledge that we do believe that this officer-involved shooting was justified.
Early and often, Elijah Wilkes' family and their attorney acknowledged the 26-year-old made a bad decision that resulted in his death Thursday morning.
All right, so we went from protests in the streets to the family saying this was a justified shooting. Let's look at the videotape.
Now, here's a quick message from the sponsor of this video, Crypto.com. Let's be clear, cryptocurrency isn't coming. It's already here. And this next move made it official. Now, Trump Media has just signed a massive $6.4 billion deal with Yorkville Acquisition Group and Crypto.com. Yeah, that Crypto.com. The platform is trusted by millions of users worldwide. Now, here's the big play. They're teaming up to scoop up billions of CRO. That's the token powering Crypto.com's entire ecosystem. Fast transactions, low fees, and even real-world perks like cash back when you spend. So the goal, build America's first CRO treasury called the Trump Media Group CRO strategy. And when all is said and done, this new company becomes the largest publicly traded CRO holder in the world. Head to crypto old Elijah Wilkes. Now, let's fast forward to October 9th, 2025, where Elijah Woods was involved in a traffic incident and lost his life. Here are the initial news reports.
Breaking at 11, multiple sources confirmed to 12 News a deadly police shooting happened this morning on Milwaukee's northwest side. The scene unfolding around 8:30 near 49th and Mill. That's just blocks from Graceland Cemetery. Moments ago, the family identifying that man killed as 26-year-old Elijah Wilkes.
Now, here's what we know. Multiple police sources tell us there was a crash between an off-duty officer on his way to work at the academy just a few blocks away from here and a man in another car. Police sources then again say they both got out of the car here near 49th and Mill, and the man pistol whipped the officer, according to sources. The officer, who was in plain clothes, shot the man, killing him. Multiple witnesses that we've spoke to said they've heard several gunshots, anywhere between 4 and 6 gunshots here at 49th and Mill, but family disputes those facts.
All right, so police are saying, hey, this guy went maniac after a simple fender bender. And the family is saying, like, hold on, that's not the case. His hands were up. Here are some of those clips.
We did not pistol whip nobody. It all happened so fast. Whatever injuries that they have, it did not come from Elijah. They were already so many feet away from each other.
My cousin called me and said my cousin Elijah Wilkes was killed. And we heard that he was killed by a police officer who was not in regular clothing, and it was just such a great loss.
Give me a reaction to hearing that you lost your cousin.
It sounded like another situation of, from what I've been hearing, of black men being killed, being shot too many times. I heard that his hands was up. It was a young lady who was here earlier, said she witnessed it. And she was a nurse and she tried to help him. And she was told by the officer to leave him alone.
James, we know that man involved was killed. What is the officer's condition?
Trying to get official word still from Milwaukee Police. Mallory, we're told that they will eventually have a press conference here at 49th and Mill. Sources tell us that officer has facial abrasions from the alleged pistol whipping from the man who is now dead. But again, we are still waiting to get confirmed information. All of what we're telling you is sourced information, and the family behind us, a very distraught family, disputes those facts.
So y'all get that? This was a good Christian boy headed to church when all of a sudden this maniac cop mowed him down with his hands up. A story that we've heard many, many times before. But the problem here is that we actually have a video of the incident. So I'm going to ask the crowd, I know this is going to be crazy, do you think the video is going to back the police version of events? Or do you think the video is going to back the family's version of events?
They did say they were not going to be able to release this to 2 weeks after the incident, so I guess it is 2 weeks.
All right, this is dash cam from the off-duty officer's car, and right there in front of his car on the right-hand side, that is Elijah Wilkes' car. They're about to get into a simple fender bender because he's trying to get over to the left-hand lane and accidentally hits the off-duty officer's car. Check it out.
What are you doing?
So now, nothing too crazy. The off-duty officer pulls over and Elijah pulled over to assess the damage from the minor fender bender.
Be my car part. Do a beat. I'm in the fucking lane.
Now, Elijah just pulled a gun out of his pocket and slapped this off-duty officer in the face with the gun. Let's see what happens next. So now Elijah has pistol whipped the officer and now has pulled the loaded gun out and is pointing it at the officer's direction. Do you think this officer is justified to respond to this deadly physical force threat with deadly physical force? Here's what happens.
Stay down on the ground. Don't move. Walk and sleep. Stay on the ground.
For y'all that are watching or will be watching this later, this is what I'll be talking about when we was talking about the statistic. It's more likely that a police officer will get shot by a person that they pulled over more than likely a police officer shooting at a black person. This is a prime example right there. Hold on.
So now Elijah has pistol whipped the officer and now has pulled the loaded gun out and is pointing it at the officer's direction. Do you think this officer is justified to respond to this deadly physical force threat with deadly physical force? Here's what happens.
Stay down on the ground. Don't move. Walk and sleep. Stay on the ground.
What is it?
So now you see the video. Is Elijah guilty or is he innocent? Was his hands up? Was this just another black man executed by a police officer? What do you think the family's going to say? Well, after being hit with these stone cold facts in this stone cold video, the family came out singing another tune.
Elijah's mother, Pamela Bond Slater, and their attorney, Beivry Lamar, watched the video twice Friday at MPD headquarters. Lamar said it showed Wilkes aggressively cut off the officer's car, causing the officer to hit Wilkes's car. They each pulled over and got out. They spoke, then Elijah pulled out a gun.
He does slap the off-duty officer with the firearm. The video does depict Elijah pointing the firearm at the off-duty officer, and the off-duty officer did respond, what we believe, in accordance with his training. He made a bad decision yesterday, and unfortunately, it came with dire consequences.
Wilkes's mother was too distraught to speak, but other family members did.
I would also like to thank the Milwaukee Police Department for their transparency and their professionalism.
He made a decision that he should not have made.
Lamar said it was unlikely they'd pursue legal action.
Once we got an opportunity to actually see the video, there weren't many questions. We had clarity as to what actually transpired.
So shocking. Even the family said, we're not even suing the city. This is absolutely clear. The video is absolutely clear. And I think all of those people who jumped the gun, start protesting in the streets, running around, the police are all evil. This is what happens when you don't allow the facts to speak for themselves and you try to rush a narrative around it, because now those BLM activists who are out there saying that his hands were up all look like fools, all look like liars. And I understand you don't want to speak ill of the dead, but the man, as his mother said, made some poor decisions, and those poor decisions led to his losing his life. You don't point.
Why would you do that?
For one, you ain't, They got this sense of entitlement. I don't know where it come from or why, but they got this sense of entitlement.
That's crazy.
Why do people? And you know, a lot of people would sit up here and say it's the systemic racism program that's put in that does all this, and I'm like, you know how that makes absolutely no damn sense.
Well, if he hit him and then put the gun out on him, I mean, what you think?
I don't know what they be thinking.
But you was straight in front of him and hit him first, though.
Yeah, but then the thing is that everybody be sitting up there wanting to throw their narrative out so fast. It's just like, why do y'all want to throw the narrative out that bad?
That's why I say it's not always the white people, it's the black people too. We do shit to make shit happen. And then turn around and be like, oh, that's nah.
You ain't lying.
Can't mess with people.
You ain't lying. I was hoping I would run across this one video, but I see I'm not. It's just my luck. Did you watch the game fully?
Nope. I ended up shit. Like I said, she called, I talked to her, and then passed the fuck out. By the time I came back over to the game, it was off. I was like, well, shit. I was watching all kind of other shit.
This is another subject I'm gonna be going over with my group on here with a bunch of people, because I feel like I've been trying to explain to people this is why the Democratic Party is meant to be dismantled, because all this infighting and stuff like this. And this is a prime example. Stephen A. Smith and Jamil Crotchet. And I know a certain person on TikTok is a Crotchet friend. And I can't wait till I run across that person. Like, oh, so what's up with your girl Crotchet? How she doing? She be out here speaking the truth, but she ain't raised no money for her district in Texas. Texas and her district is one of the most poorest districts in Texas. And I don't want to hear shit about Trump when you ain't asked Trump for no money or nothing. You ain't even attempted to try. You ain't put out no proposition to raise no money or bring no businesses to your district. But let's get deeper than that.
About me because they did not like what I had to say about Representative Jasmine Crockett. I've invited Jasmine Crockett. I have nothing but respect for her. I just disagree on what she's making headlines for, because I think it's counterproductive to the ultimate goal. But yet, here we are, and the word disrespect comes in, and people try to engage with words, you know, like disrespect and implying misogyny and all of this other nonsense. Stop it. Stop it. Can we be grown-ups and deal with what the real issue is involving what I said?
Hell no, they not gonna deal with the substance. They don't want to hear what you gotta say, because we black people, this is a product of being traumatized from slavery. We don't know how to critically think. We hate to develop and process a thought. All we do is cheer for whatever person tells us what we want to hear. That's why we like Jasmine Crockett, is because she doesn't force us to think. You know, you don't have to do any critical thinking when listening to Jasmine Crockett, because her whole shtick is they just don't like you because you black. They just don't like you because you a woman. I mean, how much intelligence does it require to come up with that? That ain't nothing but a tool and a weapon to keep you in your place. And
preach, my brother. It amazes, because a lot of us, that's how we look at it, brother. If you're really talking to a conservative and like, what do we think? It's like the Democratic Party only comes around 2 to 4 years, and asks you for your approval to vote, tell you that, oh my God, you've been enslaved and the white man owe you money, and then, oh, you need reparations, and then they're not even trying to help you get reparations. The Democratic Party ain't trying to even think about giving them reparations. But yet again, we always we need their vote. Y'all can't do it. Them niggas don't even create jobs. Oh, Cam Newton got a new show on BET.
Dude,
called 106 in Sports.
I don't even watch BET no more.
I don't either. I just seen his advertised for it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's get this little. Let me get the little sports up in here real quick for we
conference.
Who?
I think, to be honest, as we can see, I don't want to be rude, but I don't think the Mavs fans really are paying attention to Anthony Davis. If he brings them something, he brings them something in that game. They have hope. They got a replacement that basically took the pressure off, and that is Cooper Flagg. The Cooper Flagg is the face of that franchise now. So it's not about AD and Luka. Like during the game, it wasn't nothing about AD and Luka. It's the Cooper Flagg was saved.
Taking that attention.
It's taking that attention. How he plays, they're going to be cheering for him. It's Cooper Flagg mania right now. They put him at the point. He's gonna play very well, right? At that position, because obviously taller, more athletic, right? He can pass the ball, but he gets to basically do whatever he wants to do. So you know, Anthony Davis can thank him. So Anthony Davis can go out here and average 28, 12, and don't even have to really worry about people criticizing him.
So you feel like Flagg is taking some of that pressure off?
Yeah, they got somebody to pay
all of it.
attention to. Yeah,
all of it.
Well, I mean,
Cooper Flagg gonna be rookie of the year. I like him at the 1-2 until Kyrie comes back.
That's the thing.
See, that's fluff. Go
How
ahead.
you taking
ahead.
one, like the point guard position seems so easy nowadays. Like everybody could just play the one. Hey, you know what, you play the one.
Because it's not a position.
It's not a position no more.
It's not a position no more.
Nobody's pressing the ball no more.
Just score.
Nobody's picking up full court.
Nobody's picking up full court. Traditional point guard. Let him try to bring that ball up against that guy boy in Miami, that Davion Mitchell boy.
Man,
they all got smart.
Yeah,
they all
go bigger. All these owners went away from the idea of
position.
Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson made everybody believe the point guard was this playmaker when he is this unicorn of a 6'9" guy. You gave him the ball. He has vision, right? If you start looking up history, that didn't exist. The point guard being your best player, winning championships as a facilitator didn't work, right? Isaiah Thomas was a scorer, guard, play. Right? Him and Steph Curry, the only two guards in the last 40, 50 years being that small, winning championships. So if your point guard was the guy like the Chris Pauls and, you know, I'm making your team better, then you wasn't winning championships. So when you look at Phil Jackson and all his guys are about 6'4" to 6'6", spot up guys, defending guys. They never played point guard really. The ball went to our best player, and then everybody started following that motto.
But that's not a scoring guard, though.
So now you got LeBron James come in, and you're like, all right, he plays the point. We can just get two guys to guard the guards, but we're gonna put the ball in his hands. He can see over the defense. You know what I mean? You know, so then you got Jokic, get him the ball. He's our point guard, right? You got Luka. Like, so you started realizing that
it's a difference
Jason Tatum.
bringing the ball
What I'm
up
saying is
and
Jason,
being the point guard.
Jason Tatum.
It's a difference.
Drew Holiday wasn't playing the point guard. Get that ball to Jason.
They don't run sets, so there's no point guard to set plays
Yeah.
up anymore.
I don't
It's
need you
not
to set the play up.
Play
Just
up for me no more.
I'm just going to give it to
over.
my best player. Let my best player control the game.
I get what you're saying.
That is show how I see basketball today and days down. It's not too many plays as you run in AU and other sports. Where in other conference and leagues, especially younger leagues.
To me, it's too much ball hog. It's ball hog too much. You gotta sometimes pass the ball. You try to shine for yourself sometimes. I'ma get it. But you be acting like you're
No clauses in the contract.
Huh?
Those personal causes. I got to score so many points a year. I got to do this a year. I got to make this. So people be trying to get it in.
That's when the teammates start getting through with this shit. We ball hogging, motherfucker.
That's all they do. ISO.
I don't know.
ISO. For real. F1 shifts to ESPN to Apple. I'll be able to watch it more easy, accessible. Man, this has been a good one. Kicking it off. I didn't want to get too heavy in it because, you know, the stories in Chicago that's going down. The mayor race in New York City is getting tight. First time really looking at a communist socialist trying to take over New York. I'm covering that story. The war, the peace deal, is it going to hold through with Trump and Gaza and Israel? I'm be covering that. I'm be covering sports, covering law effects, body cams, TikTok discussions. I'm going to start up sitting here making personal videos, listening to people, putting my opinion, uploading this. I'm going to be working, y'all. I'm going to be working. Catch me on TikToks late at night, early in the morning. To see all what's going down Monday through Friday. Catch me over there. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. We're taking over. We're coming back. We're coming back strong. We're doing this hard. We got a lot of things to discuss and talk about. A lot of things been going on in the world. Quick special shout out to Candace Owens. Make she stay safe. You know what I'm saying? Covering the Charlie Kirk footage. You know what I'm saying? That's very deep. Please be safe. Be careful. Larry, anything you would like to say before we get up out of here?
No, it's just, y'all be safe. I'll let y'all when I see you.
Yeah, I definitely want to cover the town hall meeting on CNN with AOC and Bernie Sanders. Yeah, man, so much. Hey, y'all, until next time, we out. Peace.